last 2 weeks have confirmed what many black Americans were expecting, that despite all the publicized goodwill of the last 2 months, we'd be back to hearing about the business as usual of some police and judicial misconduct. This week it was the tragic death of 26-year-old Breonna Taylor that reminded us. Taylor, a first responder, was shot and killed in early March when Louisville, Kentucky police initiated a no-knock late-night drug raid at her home despite it being the wrong home. Officers shot Taylor 8 times after her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, allegedly fearing that the couple was being robbed, opened fire with his own legal firearm. He now faces assault and attempted murder charges, while the 3 officers involved have been reassigned pending investigation. In the last 48 hours, both the mayor and police chief of Louisville have called on federal investigators to get involved. The state attorney general asked to serve as a special prosecutor. Joining me now is Tamika Palmer, Breonna's mother, and the family's lawyer, civil rights attorney, Benjamin Crump. Let me go to you first. As mother, Ms. Palmer, of Breonna, tell us what you want to see happen and give the nation a feel of what your daughter was like.
Well, first I want to see the ban of no-knock warrants and the use of body cams in situations like this, because it was uncaused for and Breonna should still be here. To talk about who she was or the type of person she was just amazing. Breonna loved life. She loved to help people. Breonna loved family. She was a very sweet person, and she went out of her way for anybody.
Now, Attorney Crump, when you hear the mother saying, Ms. Palmer saying that the no-knock law and the body cameras on police, we also were told that Mr. Taylor, who was arrested and charged for attempted murder and assault, was shooting because he thought it was a burglary. And we're told he called police, and you've called for the release of the 911 tape, which has not been released. Am I correct?
You're correct, Reverend Al, and Attorney Sam Aguilar and Attorney Lanita Baker, my able Kentucky co-counsels, we discussed the very danger of these no-knock warrants that I believe are unconstitutional and disproportionately executed on African Americans. That's one point. But Reverend Al, when you talk about Kenneth Walker, who was trying to protect his castle, trying to protect Breonna, his woman, in their home from what they thought was a home invasion.
Because, let me stop you there. He has said that they never identified themselves as police. All he heard was people banging, coming in the door, so he thought these were burglars. Is that the statement he made?
Absolutely. And Reverend Al, they were in plain clothes. There was nothing to tell them. Imagine you're at 1 a.m. sleeping in your bed at night, and then all of a sudden you hear something at the door and boom, he gets his gun that he's registered and licensed to have. He has committed no crime ever in his history, and he's trying to defend himself and his woman. Just oppose that, Reverend Al, with the Aubrey case in Georgia, where when those killers who killed Ahmaud Aubrey in broad daylight, and it's on videotape, when the police came, they said self-defense. And they were not arrested. They were allowed to go home and sleep in their bed for 10 weeks in peace. But when this young African-American did the same thing, he was immediately arrested, put in jail, and he is facing life in prison on an attempted murder charge. That is self-defense in black and white in vivid color.
And he had a legal weapon, so I'm sure when you reached out and talked, and National Action Network and other organizations you reached out to, I'm sure the NRA has reached out to you to support Kenneth Walker. Is that right, Attorney Crump?
We're still waiting for that call, Reverend Al, because it's as if the Second Amendment does not apply to African Americans.
Ms. Palmer, the fact that everyone that I've talked to, and I have board members of National Action Network in Louisville, your daughter had an impeccable reputation, and not only was she killed in this situation that I know is painful for you, and only the love of a mother would make you even go through these kind of interviews, but I understand they ran you around that night, sending you to the hospital and back and forward. Explain how you were told about her death and what you went through just on the evening that your daughter was killed. Or I should say morning before day.
I actually was never told the words that she was killed, but I got a call from Kenneth in the middle of after 12, and he said somebody was trying to get in here, and I think they shot Breonna, but I can hear him screaming and yelling and saying Breonna's name. And so, of course, I was in the bed, and somehow I dropped the phone. We got disconnected. I started calling Kenny back. He wouldn't answer. So immediately I started to call Breonna's phone. And she's not answering. So I knew I needed to get up and get to her house. And so when I got there, the street was covered in police. There was an officer at the end of the road, and I got off the car and I told her I needed to get through there. Something was going on at my daughter's home. She told me that I needed to get to the hospital, that there were 2 ambulances. One took the officer and the other took the other person who was hurt. So I immediately rushed off to the hospital. When I get there, the lady, I explained why I'm there. And so she said, well, give me a second. Let me see what's going on. So she came back and she said, well, ma'am, she's not here yet. And I said, well, I'll wait because she must be still en route. I waited almost 2 hours. And so she comes back and she says, ma'am, there's no recollection of this person even being on the way. We don't have a call of this person coming here. Are you sure she's coming here? I said, that's what they told me. But at that time, I knew I needed to get back to Breonna's house because where's my child? And so I go back, and by then, the road is a little more clear. You can get through better. So I get up to the apartment complex, and I tell the officer there that I needed to get in. I needed to see my daughter to see what was going on. He told me to hang tight, that somebody would come over and talk to me. And when the guy came to talk to me, he asked me, did I know anybody who would want to hurt Breonna or Kenny? Absolutely not. It's no. And he, so he just kind of, I asked, where's Kenny? He said, well, we're talking with Kenny. Give me a minute. It probably was an hour later when he came back and asked me, did Breonna and Kenny have any problems? And I said, absolutely not. Kenny would never do anything to Breonna. And so I said, then you need to tell me where Kenny is. I need to talk to Kenny. He said, well, ma'am, Kenny's at one of our offices trying to help us piece together what happened here tonight.
Wow.
So he said, give them a little bit and that they would come back and talk to me. So, of course, there was hours and hours in between this, and it was probably 11 o'clock the next day when he came back out and he just kind of said they were about done wrapping up, and that they were almost finished where they would be getting out of there. So it was then I asked again, well, where is Breonna? Like, I've been asking, where is Breonna? And he said, well, ma'am, she's in the house. And that I knew then what that meant.
She was in the house all the time that they had you going back and forth. Attorney Crump, as we hear the pain of this mother and the back and forward and the coming, we're told the person that they allegedly were looking for was in custody at the time they came. They had the wrong address and the wrong person, and the person was in custody. Do you have any faith in the state attorney general saying he would be a special prosecutor here? And what do you think of the mayor and police chief calling for the feds to come in?
We're very concerned. We don't have much faith in the feds. We don't know about this attorney general because the information that they used to get this no-knock warrant was false information. The U.S. Postal Inspector said that they never verified anything with his office. And Reverend Al, when you think about how they shot these bullets into that apartment from everywhere, they were over 20 rounds, and they went into the neighbor's apartment. A 5-year-old little girl was sleeping, and a bullet went in her room. And tragically, Breonna's body was mutilated with bullets while she was in her underwear. And this innocent, never been in any trouble, only wanted to help people. Her mother was more concerned with her being in the ER, putting on her gloves and her protective gear so she wouldn't contract the coronavirus, never thinking that she would lose her daughter to the police in the sanctity of her own home. And then they would give her the runaround, Reverend Al. So that's why we need people like you and everybody to help Tamika Palmer, so Louisville's mayor will know that this mother and her little sister Janiyah are not alone in demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. If you ran with Maude, you have to stand with Bree, because Black women's lives matter too.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you that, Ms. Palmer, we will stand to get to what happened in this case, stand for justice, and we'll be seeing you very soon as travel is available, because we just want the truth to come out. And certainly, this is a case that we'll be following up. Tamika Palmer and Attorney Benjamin Crump, thank you for sharing with us this evening. Still to come.